Small crossovers seem to be everywhere. Well, except this one. This is the 2019 GMC Terrain, and it is GMC's take on the small crossover, and I'm very excited to show this one in the Denali trim to you all today, coming out at an MSRP of just under $40,000. Can it compete with all the other many competitors? Let's take a look. But first, if you like this video, I ask that you please consider liking and subscribing to our channel. We try to put videos out like this weekly, and if you like it, subscribing really helps us, and we try to keep these videos high quality every week. We promise not to spam you. Also, a big shout out to our friends at Koons, Chevy, Buick, GMC of Clarksville, especially Eric. He helped us get this vehicle filmed today. It's a great dealer. We work with them a lot. If you're looking for a Chevy, Buick, GMC, it's a great place to be. All right, let's get into the video now. So here we are at the front of the GMC Terrain, and I'm just gonna be right off the bat here. I think this is a very handsome crossover. So as we look at the front, starting up top here with our hood, it's well sculpted, it's artistic. I like how it sort of bulges up, then down. It's a very nice look. So this pattern sort of continues down here in the grille with this up and down chrome. It's almost like a blocky wave. That's how I would describe it. These are like waves coming across, but it's been sort of digitized. It's blocky and chrome. In terms of what I think about the grille, I think they went with a safe shape for the grille here. It's your traditional sort of oval open shape, but I like what the filling they went here. They definitely played it safe on this grille, but safe is not always bad. I like how it looks. Moving over here to the headlights. If you watch our Chevy Silverado review, you would know that I'm a big fan of how GM vehicles have the bodywork and headlights playing together, sort of melded. You can see how the bodywork just stretches into the headlight here. I really like that look. The headlights themselves are very well designed. They're sort of this metal piece that runs down here like this, and it says GMC in it. And it's not just written in there, it is sort of etched out. It looks 3D. Then you can also see they have Terrain written in there. It's a very nice look. Moving down, we have this chrome bar. You expect chrome, not plastic, on these higher trims. Again, $40,000. This is the top trim, the Denali. I like how it splits at the end and sort of fades off like that. Overall, a very good looking front of the car, and I think that's going to be a pattern we find around this car. It is very good looking. So now that we're here at the side of the Terrain, I'm just gonna say again, this is a good looking car. We'll start with these rims. You know we're a big fan of GM rims here at Gas Guzzlers. They've done it again. You see you have these silvery and dark gray rims that start and then they sort of branch off. It's a very nice look. It looks rugged, it looks creative. It's not a look that you see super often in the car industry. Well, it's a well done look, is what I'll say. Definitely a big fan of these. As we sort of move back around the car, you see you have your chrome right here. Big fan of chrome. I personally am, Cole is not. I think it looks very good on this vehicle. It makes it look more high-end. Also, no black plastic, really. You have the glass here, which is black, but none of that like flaky black plastic on the side of this vehicle, or at least very little of it. I really appreciate it. That's something you expect at $40,000. Looking at you, Chevy Silverado. But again, you have this chrome bar here, and then also like GMC, they just made these things look creative. Like this could have just been a simple chrome bar with no depth to it, no real design elements to it. However, it gets a little thicker right here and then tapers off a bit. It's design elements like that that make cars look good. If like just putting a chrome strip here, yeah, that's nice and all, but adding some actual design to it is what makes cars look good. And this is my favorite looking crossover. I'm gonna say it midway through the video. I like these door handles a lot. They're painted with chrome on them, and they went through the trouble of making the button to unlock them chrome, or to lock them in this case. I love that sort of stuff. I really like that. Your running boards here are this nice brushed metal with some rubber padding. It has GMC stamped in it. It's a very nice look, and I really appreciate it. And then down here you have a chrome bar that says Denali written in it. When you are paying a premium to get a high trim level, you want that sort of stuff. Now, it's time to address the elephant in the room. If you watched my RAV4 video, you know I hate floating roof lines. I like this one. I know, shock, but the RAV4 does it terribly. The RAV4 has a little black piece of plastic that doesn't even look like glass. It's horrible. But in this car, it looks good. It doesn't look like GMC just said, oh, we have to do a floating window because that's what's hip now. they actually just used it. Like, it actually looks good here, and I really appreciate it. This is something that we don't see in the car industry enough, knowing when to use the trends in the industry and knowing when not to. We see so many car companies just throwing on floating roof lines on cars where it doesn't look good, but here you can tell that they put some thought into designing it. It works for this vehicle, and I really like it. Overall, I like the look of this side. It's the best looking crossover in my opinion. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings us here to the back of the Terrain. Up top, you have a bit of an overhang over your rear window. That's a pretty typical design element. Your back glass, it's nice that it isn't flat. It sort of moves up to go over your taillights. That's a nice sort of a design feature. As we look at your taillights here, they look a lot like Honda's lobster claw taillights. However, they have a bit more space here than the Hondas, so Honda's almost has a closed lobster claw, whereas the one here is an open lobster claw. I also like how there are layers here. There are sort of bands to the taillight, so you have one outer band and then you have an inner band right here, and they're actually both pretty thick. I like how they look. Back here, you don't have too many design elements in the sheet metal right here. You just sort of have a nice groove right here. The only thing I don't like about the looks of this rear end is this chrome bar right here looks a bit short in my opinion. I would like if this was a bit longer or maybe went down. I'm not sure what, but I'm not a huge fan of that. Also, something interesting to note is you would think your tailgate button to open is right here. Nope, it's right down here. As we continue to move, you have a chrome bar like you did in the front. Again, something you expect at this trim level. Speaking of what you would expect at this trim level, I would like to have a nice Denali badge. If you're getting the top trim level, especially from a more luxurious brand like GMC, you would expect a special badge, almost like the High Country badge on the Silverado. That would be something I'd like to see in the future. And your exhaust, nothing too special about them, just a square chrome exhaust, very simple, very nice, connected to the actual exhaust. They aren't completely fake. Overall, it's a very safe looking rear end, but safe isn't always bad. Remember, this isn't for enthusiasts. This is for someone who just likes a higher up car, maybe has a family, so that they don't need a real out there creative design. It's just a good looking, handsome car. The Terrain comes with 3 engine options. I'll put them on screen. This one right here is the 2-liter turbo with a 9-speed transmission. Now this is going to give you 252 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque. You're going to be able to expect 21 city and 26 highway in this all-wheel drive configuration. There is all-wheel drive and front-wheel drive available, and again, 3 different engine options. This is the 2-liter turbo. One interesting thing to note is normally at this price point, you would expect some nice hydraulics to open up this for you and hold it up, but this is a traditional stick that you pull out right there. Normally I would not mind that, but today it is very hot, so when I opened it and had to put that up, I burned myself on the hood. But you know, that's not the car's problem. That's my own fault for trying to touch metal on a hot day. All right, let's move inside. All right, so now we're gonna take a look at the inside here of the GMC. Just a quick apology for any noise you hear in the background. I do have the AC on because it is brutally hot right now. Our camera kept overheating. But so first of all, I mentioned out back that I would like it some more Denali badging. You do get a nice Denali badge right here on the steering wheel. I do like that. If you're paying 40 grand, you expect that. Let's just talk about your driver's area in general. You can see you have a small screen right there. I would like if that screen was bigger. A lot of the competitors, this whole area is digitized. Not in the GMC. You still have that small screen. I'll run through the menus here for you real quick. You can see you have your speed, you know, just basic information. This isn't giving you, you know, too much information compared to your competitors. So I would like to see some more digitization there. And then just and also some customization would be nice. Also, while we're looking at this area on the steering wheel, you have these buttons right here. If you watched our Malibu review, you would know I am a huge fan of these buttons in GM products. They just feel incredible. They feel very snappy. It's just a very high quality, nice press button. You have a heated steering wheel here. On this side, you have your controls for a lot of your safety systems. Overall, the driver's area here is very good. If you want an idea for what it looks like to drive this, I am holding this sort of right at my eyes right now. So you're nice and high up. It's a very pleasant area to drive. So let's talk interior quality real quick. Everything, or almost everything here, is a nice soft touch material or a fake metal or fake wood, but it still looks very nice. You can see our steering wheel here is leather wrapped. You have leather or a soft touch material here. You have your leather stitched armrest right here in your center console area. The seats are very nice. They are cooled and heated, and you do have Denali stitched in right there. That's very nice to see. This wood and metal right here especially, it's very nicely melded together. It's a fake wood, fake metal, but you know what? It looks nice. And at $40,000, that can fly, that sort of stuff. You can see right here, the door handle is sort of a real shiny metal. That's nice. And it blends very well with this dark wood and dark interior. Overall, I like the interior of this, like the look of this interior, pardon me, very much. The materials are very high quality and I have very few complaints. All right, everyone, so here you have a nice front view of the vehicle, and we're just sort of gonna run down here and talk about what you have here. Right here you have your traditional General Motors infotainment system. If you've watched our videos before on a General Motors product, you would know we're fans of this system. You have your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. As you can see, it is very, very snappy. You have your navigation, for example. You have, and actually it does look fairly up to date. I think the only other system with an up-to-date navigation that looks like as good as this is Ford with their Sync 3, but this system is very good looking. I appreciate the work that went into it a lot. It's actually very, very good. You do have 4G LTE connectivity with this vehicle too. You can get the Wi-Fi hotspot with it, but that is stupid expensive. And then as you move down, you sort of have some music controls and whatnot, nothing too major there. You have your climate controls. I'm a big fan of Chevy climate controls and GMC climate controls. I like how they say sort of the temperature right here. The dials are almost like little screens, and I really like that. That's a very cool feature, and I wish automakers did more stuff like that. It's a very neat look. Also, I like how the knobs right here are rubberized. They feel high quality. You don't feel like you're gonna break anything as you're turning them. The buttons feel very good. And there's also a nice mix between the physical and digital. You can see as I press a physical button here, a little menu comes up here. You don't have to use the infotainment system, but the options there, it's nice that they give you both options. Moving down, here you have your gear selector. I do not like using buttons to select gears. However, this is the way a lot of vehicles are going, especially crossovers. A company I can think of that's doing this a lot is Lincoln. So at least they underline it with this nice little chrome strip right here. I'm not gonna complain about it a lot. That's just how things are now. Moving down, you have a nice little storage cubby here with your USB-A, USB-C, aux port, SD card, your phone charger, all sorts of the traditional stuff you would expect. You have two cup holders surrounded by that fake metal, and then they have some chrome around them. You then have below that some drive controls, you have some active safety buttons, and you have your heated, cooled seat controls. Overall, this whole area is very well laid out, very user-friendly, and I don't really have any complaints about it other than the buttons right here, but that's more of an industry thing than just a GMC thing. A brief apology, I wanted to show you what it would look like with me sitting here as a passenger. I wanted the camera on the outside and me on the inside. However, it is so hot that if I have the camera rolling for more than 20 seconds, it just overheats and it won't film anymore. So we're gonna make the best with what we can. So in terms of legroom, I have plenty. This is where I would say as a passenger, so a bit further back than if I was driving, and I have plenty of room right here. So yes, you can have adults back here. In your center console area, you do have two air vents, which is nice to have back here. You have multiple options for your heated seats back here. You can have just your back or the whole seat, and those are for your outboard passenger seats. You have two USB ports and a household outlet down there, so it's nice that you have those different connectivity options. Now, in terms of the seat comfort back here, it's very good. I have no complaint as a passenger. Let me try to get you a little look at them. You have different colored stitching on your black leather. It looks very nice, nice headrest. You do have sort of an interesting window design here with that floating roofline design. That results in an interesting looking window back there. You do have this, which you can pull down and reveal two cup holders. I do like that they have these rubber bits right here to hold smaller drinks in place. Good design right there by GMC. Now, also one thing I'll talk about is the panoramic sunroof. This thing is gigantic, and it's nice to see that it goes all the way back here for your passengers. Overall, this is a nice place to be. You do have nice materials back here. The only not nice material right here is you do have some plain black plastic right here. But other than that, you do have your fake wood, that metal handle. It's a nice place to be for your back passengers. Real quick, I just want to show you all the storage space back here. So you do have, remember I said your liftgate button is down here, not up here. You do have a decent amount of storage space. As you look in here, you can see you can store typical, it's about what you expect for a crossover. It's not a huge vehicle, but it's certainly plenty for most people. right here you can see you can drop your seats down. Pulling those will drop these seats right here, so that's nice to have. Overall, a very usable rear area. The load floor is a little high, but overall very nice. So I quickly wanted to talk about the technology in this car. If we pop it into reverse, you can see that we do have all sorts of different camera views here, some of which do sort of work better than others, as you can see, but still, it is a very neat system. And one other neat thing is this car does have self-parking, so we're gonna give that a go right here. All right, so I wanted to show you guys the self-parking feature in this car. So here we go. I'm gonna pop us in drive real quick. So this car, like many others, has a self-parking feature, and we're gonna test it out right here. So we're gonna start driving along, and I'm gonna press this button right here. This car can parallel and perpendicular park by itself. You can see it's searching for a space on our right. I have created a rather large space on our right between my car and a Denali. I'm not trying to show how good this car is at parallel parking, simply that I can do it. All right, so it's asking us to drive forward because it found a spot, so we're gonna do that. Okay, we're gonna stop and shift into reverse. Now this is a crowded parking lot, so I'm gonna take my foot off the brake, and you can see a steering wheel is steering itself. And you can see right here, this blue arrow gives us an idea of what's going on. So I'm actually tapping the brake because I've noticed this car can be very aggressive and it's backing up. Now there's a Yukon right in front of us. I'm gonna make sure we don't hit that, but it looks like we're gonna clear it. Wow, look at that. Look at that. This is really freaky. Stop. It's probably gonna ask us to drive, put it in drive, so we're gonna put it in drive. You can see the steering wheel's gonna move. That is a cool feature. I'll get out now and show you guys what the result is. So everyone, thanks for coming along this review with me. I had a lot of fun making it. I just saw this car when I was driving the other day and I wanted to do a review on it. It's a really fantastic crossover. If you're looking for a crossover, you really should be considering this one. Again, big thanks to Chevy, Buick, GMC of Clarksville. That's a Koons dealer. They're great folks. I do, at this point, personally recommend with them. We've worked with them a lot. And if you like this video, please consider subscribing to our channel. Thank you so much and have a great week. We'll see you on our next video.